Every day, people buy puppies from pet stores. But do they ever stop to think about where they came from? On November 29th, 2012, I purchased a puppy from a pet store in Ontario. The consequences of this action have led me down a path of realization towards an industry I didn't know I had supported. It all started with my sister Jessica opening my eyes.
Well, we've always had dogs, and I think it was kind of ingrained at you, early age, to have a dog. So I can understand it was lonely, not having a pet. You know, Percy's a great dog, and I look at him and he's cute and bouncy, but when I look at him, I think of his mom, who's probably had, umpteen litters, and she's not in the best health, and those are the things you don't think about when you're looking at the puppy in the window. And that's the problem. It was an impulse buy. It's a life that you just took under your control, and the fact that you just walked by a window, thought, hey, that dog's kind of cute.
Essentially, where puppy mills all started from was after World War II, I think, and it was a business, right? So it's a breeding dog business.
In no way, shape, or form did they acknowledge that this is anything that lives, breathes, feels pain.
In reality, a lot of people are supporting puppy mills and don't even realize that they're supporting them.
They don't really, unless they're associated with it or somehow find out about puppy mills or, feral cats, whatever the situation may be, people don't give it a second thought, and that's one of the reasons why, we have the issues we have.
Puppy mills, they sell the puppies by broker through ways of pet stores. So when you're getting a dog from a pet store, you're essentially supporting the puppy mills. A lot of people initially get that dog as an impulse buy. They see the dog in the window and they feel sorry for it, rightfully so, because it's in a small cage and it's so excited to see people and it's not getting the proper interaction. So you feel that you're rescuing that dog. But in reality, you're just opening up another space for another puppy mill puppy to come in.
December 08, we did a puppy mill seizure with the Humane Society International in Quebec, and we pulled 84 dogs from an unheated garage. Now we went in, pulled them out. The extraction team wore full face oxygen masks. It was roughly an hour and a half trip back with the kennel truck to the shelter, and when they pulled up at the emergency shelter, their eyes were still burning. It's the ammonia fumes from sitting years and years in urine and feces. Nothing smells like a puppy mill. There's blood in the bottom of the trays where the ammonia in the pads has actually burnt through their feet so that they're bleeding. We actually had a couple of dogs out of that seizure who were blind from the ammonia fumes burning the corneas.
The puppies are often confined, multiple puppies in one crate. The crates are usually stacked one on top of each other. They're usually left in there to urinate and defecate and stay within their fill. So it's pretty horrible living conditions for these dogs.
You'll see them with deformed feet because they have stood on the wire all their lives. And they're on the wire crates so that the feces, urine fall down below and they just hose it out when and if they ever feel like it.
A lot of the puppy mills, they're breeding to make money. So they want to keep their costs down in order to have a higher profit margin. In order to keep their costs down, they feed the dogs very poor quality food. Sometimes it's actually just like a gruel. They've watered it down. So the dogs are not healthy because they're not eating quality food. A lot of the dogs lose their teeth because they're not chewing on anything.
Some of those dogs that we pulled were microchipped, which means they had previous owners.
And they probably gave it up for free and a puppy mill went and picked it up. Free dog.
These had been pets that now were caged 24/7, 365, for the sole purpose of spitting out dollar bills, puppies. The goal is to have the puppies in the pet store no more than 6 weeks of age. An 8-week-old puppy in a puppy mill is a senior citizen and killed. He is no longer a viable product.
So the time period that a puppy is with the mom is usually 6 weeks, and then you take a 2 more week after to transition the puppy off the mill.
4 to 5 weeks, they're taken from their mothers, shipped off to the pet stores. Those are vital weeks, the things they learn with mom.
They're weaned early, they're taken away from the mom early, so that affects their immune system because they're not getting proper nutrition from their mother's milk. They could have puppies every 6 months, and that's what these puppy mill situations do. So that's a lot on their system because they don't even have a recovery time after the first litter to then go and be bred another time. And often, a lot of times, the mums don't even take to the puppies. You know, when they've been bred so often, their milk production is going to be low. They get irritated by the puppies. Sometimes they don't even nurse them, they don't care for them.
Good breeders that I know will only breed a female once every 2 years. They feel it takes the body a year to recover afterwards, and then they're retired at a fairly young age.
The older they get, they also become less healthy because of the conditions that they're living in and the poor nutrition that they've had and that they've been breeding every single cycle. Their litters start to get smaller and smaller. They're less healthy.
They usually keep them for about 4 years, so they get, you know, the 8 litters out of them, and then after that they either euthanize them or give them away because this poor dog's been there for 4 years of its life and all it's been used for is having puppies.
When the seizure team went in and took 2 days to evacuate this former pig farm, they found the kill pile. They found the pile of dead bodies, puppies that weren't viable from birth, old breeding stock that had had their day, and they'd been killed and the bodies were piled up. Because it had been a former pig farm, they had their own commercial incinerator on site to dispose of the evidence.
And that's why we want to stop it. It's this mass production of dogs when they're not giving any thought to the care of the mother. They're not giving any thought to the care, that initial sort of 6-week care of the puppy. You know, it should be with the mom, it should be in a home environment with social interactions, and that's what they're missing in the puppy mill.
So the best way to avoid supporting puppy mills is don't buy pets in pet stores. Don't buy them from online sources.
So if you ever see someone selling a dog online, that's not from a breeder. A true breeder would never put an ad online to sell a dog. They'd have the female and they'd be more than willing to show you the female so that you'd be able to see the mom, you'd be able to see the other puppies, and you'd be able to see the home where they were delivered and where they were brought up.
What questions is the breeder asking you? Good breeders want to know what's going to happen to their pets.
That screening process is definitely better than no one screened you when you went to the pet store, right? So how many of those dogs then end up in shelters and in rescues is because people weren't screened, don't realize the time and effort.
Since my mistake, I've become more aware of rescue and shelter dogs and the opportunity to adopt. Often these dogs are owner surrenders. They tend to be happy, healthy dogs that are trained and vetted, yet are put in the shelter for absolutely no fault of their own. Dogs perfect for a home, yet that are euthanized every day, regardless of temperament or health due to a lack of space in shelters. When you adopt, you rescue a dog from shelter and provide space for another dog to come in to rescue. When you buy your pet from a store or online like I did, you simply perpetuate a cycle of disposable life. I can't undo what I've done, but I can spread the message about puppy mills. In Ontario, it's no longer legal to sell live animals in pet stores within Toronto, Vaughan, and Mississauga, with other townships and cities following. There can be an end to puppy mills. We just need to do the right thing.